Hey, welcome to Old Ass Movie Reviews. I'm Scott, and there is Dave. And hey, we're going to change things up today. Do a little quick review of the movie that we watched. And then if you want to stick around, Dave and I will be talking about the movie and a little more in depth and things we liked with spoilers. So right off the bat, 1984's Lloyd Kaufman's Tromaville, The Toxic Avenger. Oh, man. I'll go first, Dave. I love this movie. It's pure 80s gold. The gore effects alone are insanely good. Holy shit, they hold up. This is a fun movie. You can't go. It's a horror film, but it's comedy. It's 80s. It's gratuitous in many ways. Lots to look at.
Yeah.
I love it. Check it out, Dave.
I agree. Lloyd Kaufman is one of those guys who makes a lot of movies. He's made a lot of movies. I'm not sure if this is the first trauma movie or not. I tried to find out. I love the movie because it is irreverent.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun. The villains are villains that you really hate, and you're glad what happens. The good guy you feel bad for the good guy, and then you see you just
then you don't.
He just becomes the hero. All the women are beautiful. Some of them are just ditzy and just terrible human beings. But it's a good script. It's a funny script.
Oh yeah.
It never slows down. So right off the bat, Kaufman and company knew how to make a good movie. I find this. It's been years since I've seen it. I find it absolutely entertaining. Absolute must watch if you are a trauma film buff or just like dumb, bad, good movies.
Yes.
It's great. I enjoy it. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, folks. Dave and I are going to talk a little bit further on this movie with spoilers. So if you'd like to join us, we're heading that way now. So thanks. So yeah, dude, Toxic Avenger. Yeah, already going, man.
Okay, good.
Toxic Avenger. This is a fun 80s movie, man. I was within the first 5 minutes, I'm just smiling at the opening intro. And it's like, oh yeah, we're in the 80s. This is great. Great synth music. And it was just this movie I had forgotten about. I had forgotten about the bullies that drive around town scoring points by running over kids, old ladies, people in wheelchairs, bicycles.
Yeah, they had a point system.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh, it was so over the top. It was crazy. But this is a movie about some bullies who are harassing poor Melvin, the janitor at the local gym. And he's just a misfit. He's a sad human being. He really is. And
you want me to go through the storyline real quick?
Let's go through it, man.
Because
let's go.
We always try to explain a movie, and I'm terrible at explaining movies. That's why we have this show.
Give us the cast.
The cast.
And then we'll talk a little bit about it. Yeah.
Real quick. Andrea Miranda was Sarah. That's the blind girl. That's the girlfriend. Mitch Cohen was the Toxic Avenger. He's the guy who actually was in the Toxie outfit.
Yeah. There's obviously two different actors.
Definitely. Jennifer Baptist was Wanda as Jennifer Baptist. I don't know what that was. Cindy Mannion was Julie. Robert Pritchard was Slug. Gary Schneider was Bozo. Pat Ryan was the mayor.
The mayor was fucking fabulous. My God.
He was great.
And the police chief.
And the police chief was great. Mark Tolgo was Melvin. Officer O'Clancy was Dick Martinson. And Chris Liano was Walter Harris. I was looking for the police chief was David Wise, which is funny because he's Jewish. That's funny. I was looking for and I don't see it.
Yeah,
Mrs. Haskell, is that Melvin's mom?
I think so.
Norma Pratt. Okay, I was just looking for a name. Those are all the main characters.
Yeah.
It was directed by Michael Hertz and Lloyd Kaufman, and the writers were Lloyd Kaufman, Joe Ritter, and Gay Partington Terry. I three names. Could be a serial killer. Yeah, it's about poor Melvin getting picked on. He works at a gym. In Traumaville. What a great,
the toxic waste capital of the world.
In Jersey.
In Jersey. And yeah, there's a lot to be said there. Melvin finds himself dumped into a barrel of toxic waste, turns into a giant mutant, and fights crime in the most brutal, disfiguring, dismemberment ways possible. It gets okay. So let's clear this up right now. It is a gory movie, but it's a funny movie, and I just find that gore and humor work on a different level than flat out terrifying gore. This is fun guts. I
was trying to think of how to describe it today, like while I'm working and doing other stuff. I'm like, I like this movie. Why do I like this movie? It's well written. It's fun. I'm like, but they have psychopathic killers in this movie, and yet it's still fun, because I think ultimately what happens to the psychopaths that are in the movie, everybody gets exactly what they deserve in this movie. Everybody gets their comeuppance. At least the bad guys do. You have to have them doing things to people, but
yeah, unfortunately.
The one thing, I don't know, did you ever read anything or see any interviews or anything like that about this movie? The guy that's on the weight machine, there's evidently, I want to back up a little bit. Evidently, after Toxie becomes Toxie, he can sense villainy. He can sense evil. And he kills anybody who's evil or does evil. He goes into the gym. The guy is selling drugs. This guy is just not a drug dealer. He is a pusher. He's a nasty piece of work. And the guy's trying to do his weights. And he takes the weights. He pulls the guy up underneath the weights. And it's those block weights, folks. Yeah. If you ever go into a gym, you see the blocks, you set the pin, and that's how much you're lifting. Well, Toxie pulls the weights up, pulls the guy's head underneath the weights, releases it, the weights come down, smash the guy's brains all over the place.
Yeah.
How they did that, they had almost no budget for this movie. It's a very, very low budget movie. I'd like to look up how much it cost them, but I don't. I just know that in the interview, Lloyd Kaufman was saying, like, yeah, there was no money for an artificial head to get smashed and have it explode. They took a watermelon. They painted a watermelon, put a mustache on it, made it look kind of sort of like the guy. Because it's just
a quick cut. Yeah.
It's like maybe 2 frames. So you don't see it that long. So when the weight hits it and it smashes them, it looks like brain splattering. Yeah. And all they did was smash a watermelon.
That's brilliant.
Like, that's a brilliant thing to do. That's we're brilliant. Making lemonade out of lemons, folks, because we got nothing else going on.
So
it's terrific.
That being said, that's what drove this movie, was the creativity, trying to find a way to make it happen. And dude, when it comes to the gore effects in this, I was blown away. They're great. They hold up. It's awesome. This is why practical effects is always important.
Yeah. You can see the guy's brains. Now, I wanted to see how they did that, because there's a scene where Toxic Avenger, a cop is being beaten up and tortured. They're about ready to rape the guy. And Toxie comes down, he smashes these guys' heads together, and you see their skulls explode.
Yeah.
And you see the brain, like, on both the guys. And I'm like, I wonder how they did that. Like, because
they did a lot of cool stuff.
Quick cut, but they spent a couple of frames on the brains. Like, you're like, how did they do that? It's really well done.
Well done. And I think that's what made him well done, was the great editing to give us just a snippet, because they had to hide it.
They had
there are movies when you have a budget that allows for the gore, you will see they tend to stay on it a little bit more to show, hey, look, look at what we can do. Here it's
look
quick.
How much money we spent.
Yeah, but here it's quick, but you see exactly what happened. I mean, you understand, you're grossed out by it. You're like, oh, they did not just run over that kid on the bicycle and splatter his brains. It's like, oh my God, how horrible was this?
So terrible.
Oh God.
Let's back up a little bit.
Yeah.
Melvin, who becomes the Toxic Avenger, works at the gym. He mops the floor. He does work. These 4 psychopaths who go around killing people for the point system, as we discussed, they hate Melvin, which honestly, Melvin's easy to dislike. Let's be honest. He's easy enough to dislike or not.
He's an awkward individual.
Yeah, but he's not, doesn't have any mean streak in him.
No, he's just awkward.
So these guys have taken it on themselves. They want to get rid of Melvin. They're going to embarrass him. They're going to humiliate him. They're going to wind up killing him. And they get one of the girls to pretend to want to have sex with him. He shows up because, he's young. He's a guy. And they have him in a tutu. They turn on the lights. The whole gym's there laughing at him, pointing at him. And he freaks out and he's trying to get away and he falls or jumps through a window. That's how he gets into the toxic waste. He's on fire. He's smoking, coming out of the
people are still laughing.
Everybody's still laughing.
That motherfucker Bozo's like, he's faking. He's faking it.
He's faking it. Like, I'm pretty sure he's not faking it. The cop touches him. His hands catch on fire. And I was like, that's kind of a cool effect. I mean, that's a simple effect. But the effect that I really liked is after Melvin starts to change, fire effects are really hard to do. They're really dangerous to do, and they can be very expensive to do. So I'm thinking a lot of their budget was spent on the fire effect of the guy running down the street. Because those guys do not come cheap and they do not come easy, even back in the 80s. That is a hard...
You're asking somebody to set themselves on fire.
Yeah, that's a hard sell. But they did such a good cut. And I was watching it last night and I'm watching it thinking, that's a really long run for a fire, for a guy that's on fire. And then I started thinking, oh shit, they slowed it down. They slowed down the run. And I didn't notice it at first because I'm like,
notice it.
That's a long, man. That guy's on fire for a long time. And then I realized they slowed it down a little bit to really drag out the run. And right where they cut it is usually when everybody comes in with the flame deterrents and put them out. So double bonus on these editors, man. I'd like to see, I don't see on here where the editors are at,
the editing is good. Yeah,
because they did a good job. But Melvin winds up turning into Toxie. He moves to the waste dump in New Jersey, which is just funny because at the time that was the big joke about New Jersey.
Yeah,
not so much.
Still
joke,
is.
But it's still there's parts of New Jersey that I didn't like to go in. Where I lived, beautiful, but Melvin moves into the dump. He starts taking revenge on people. He grabs the first guy. No, they're having the bar or in the restaurant where that's where he meets his girlfriend. People are trying to rob the place. The guy's going to rape the girl. He's going to do all this bad stuff.
This is just like, holy crap.
Yeah,
he rips off dude's arm and beats a motherfucker with his arm, man. There's a lot of good there. Here's if I'm going to have one complaint is in this scene here. I hate to kill the dog. I hate when that's a cheap shot.
Oh, Kat was like, "Oh, I'm done. I'm done with this movie."
I was mad. I was like, "You motherfuckers!"
Yeah, and there was no. That was
never a reason for it.
You pushed it too far. Kat was even saying like they could have killed 50 people in that moment, and it wouldn't have bothered me as much as them killing that one dog.
Yeah,
and I was
I'm
like,
there.
I totally get it.
Yeah,
I totally get it. But the good thing is when they show the dog is still breathing and it looks happy. Because I think he just got fed in real life.
It's kind of weird. It's
cheap.
I knew they were going there. I knew they were going to do it, and it's just it's a quick, easy, emotional reaction, and it's a cheap trick. and I get why it's done. I
Yeah.
don't like it at all.
Yeah, I did not
But
like it.
that's but yeah, that that whole thing sets Toxie up. He saves the blind girl because that was her
Yeah.
CNI dog.
Yeah.
So now he becomes her CNI dog, and they fall in love because she can't see just how hideous he is.
Yeah.
Uh,
Which is good for
Now, here's
him.
one of the things I absolutely loved was his voice being dubbed.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out whether Mitch Cohen actually did his own voice or if somebody else did it. I couldn't tell.
I don't
I
know. It
couldn't
felt
find.
so out of place and so wrong. It felt
Yeah.
like a very conscious decision, and I liked it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
The way it was dubbed was definitely a conscious decision.
the way it
Because
was
you could
dubbed was almost
definitely
without
tell.
emotion.
Yeah, you could definitely tell that it was not the guy in the room, at least at that point.
It was added later, and it was like, what the hell? And I loved it.
Yeah, I was just trying to find the like if it was overdubbed by the same guy who played him
Yeah, I don't know.
in the makeup, but I can't find it anywhere. Andrea Miranda, Sarah, the girl, the blind girl,
Yeah.
she played that part perfectly. Her eyes are really wide. She's got a big smile. She's a beautiful girl to look at. And she's just so happy all the time. And I'm like, how? I mean, I know Coke was a big thing, but how did you? I would love to ask her, how did you pull that off? Because you got to figure you're there for hours.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
even the little things we did, we're there for a few minutes and trying to do
Yeah.
the same thing over and over again. I want to know how she did that.
Yeah.
But evidently, I looked, I only found a few other movies that she was in, and she was a singer.
Huh.
She had like a couple of albums, it looked like, when I was looking up her name
Oh, damn.
through the internet.
Damn. Very
And I'm
interesting.
just I can't find anything recent on her. Like I have no idea if she's still around, if she's still with us in this universe, or it, I can't find anything on her. But the other girls, Jennifer Baptiste, the girl who played Wanda, and Cindy Mannion, who played Julie, they both very much grew into their looks. I mean, they were both pretty girls at the time, but it's so damn funny how he takes out the guys. The one guy, what's he do to the one guy? He's got him in the car because after they beat the old lady, he strangles the one guy, crushes his throat, throws him out of the car, gets in the car with the other guy, hits the gas, and just driving through everything, man. And what I like, because I'm sitting there watching all the cars get into the car accident, and I'm like, the Toxic Avenger is supposed to be a good guy. He's not supposed to be doing this,
He's a vigilante.
But he does keep turning around to make sure everybody that's crashing. And it took me a minute to figure out what he was doing. I didn't
see that.
He's turning around in the car. This other guy's basically steering, trying to not, get them killed.
Yeah.
So he's not worried about that. He's turning around to make sure everybody's okay. So when he sees a couple of people jump out of the car and then the car explodes, he turns around. He turns again, back forward. So that was a really good choice for Kaufman.
Yeah.
Because he's the good guy. He's not just going to kill indiscriminately. If he thought those people were in danger, he probably would have jumped out of the car and gone to save them, which would have made for an interesting moment. But I know why he didn't do that. It would have cost a lot of money to try and keep filming.
Yeah, because that's one thing to keep in mind. We're like, well, the story could have gone this way, or maybe we should do this with the story.
Yeah.
The budget is going to dictate which way you're going with that story. I mean, really, it's going to dictate your scenes, everything. And I've been a part of just recently when we were shooting Demon Squad 2, we had an area all lined up to shoot for 2 days in this abandoned building, and the roof had collapsed on the building. We didn't know that. The realtors didn't know it at the time. So we got there to film all the scenes, and we could not use the building. But through a series of events, we ended up in an abandoned office building on the 13th floor in Mobile, downtown. Just down the street, a block's walk away, and it changed the entire scenes because they had written this old abandoned warehouse turned into now an abandoned office building, and it's like it changes everything. But maybe it's a happy accident. But that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Sometimes you just got to roll with what you got, man.
No, I get it. That's kind of cool though.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
kind of
things worked out.
that's probably a really good happy, like you said, a happy accident, happy stance, or whatever you want
Yeah,
to call it.
it
And
may
I
have
can hardly
been.
wait. I just want everybody to know out there, we are going to review Demon Squad, and then we're going to review Demon Squad 2. I'd like to do them both back to back.
It
So
sounds
after
like a
Demon
plan.
Squad 2 comes out,
We will
I'm
do
going to
it.
buy the damn thing. I mean,
Well, I hope so.
yeah, well, I supported them to get the hard drive all fixed, so
Yes,
that was cool. I
that
was
was
really
awesome,
relieved, man, after you told me about
dude. You
that,
and
and
me
I saw
both.
it. Then I saw he was having trouble getting the hard drive working. I was like, oh no, because I know how much you guys were working on that. I know how much
Yeah.
that guy was working on it. I was just like,
Mhm.
holy crap, that's I can't imagine shooting for what 14 days he had on that.
He had quite a few
Right.
weeks of filming
Oh
on
God.
there, and was all he was doing was he was backing up. He was
Yeah.
backing up when it failed, and it's like
Oh,
it was a nightmare. My heart skipped a beat because I was worried about that. But yeah,
yeah.
because that's the kind of things that people don't think about. They're like, well, why
Yeah.
didn't they do this? And these people, a lot of people talk a lot of shit, but you know what? Do like Lloyd Kaufman. Go make your own damn movie.
Go make a
Then
movie.
you will learn real quick. You'll learn more making your movie than you will from anybody telling you how to do it.
And you said earlier that you got on Trauma's website, and you joined them for a month so you could watch
I did. All their stuff's up there. This
Yeah.
Evil Head 2 is up
Evil
there. No,
Evil
Evil Head,
Evil
Dead
Head.
by Dong. Death by Dong.
Death by
Evil
Dong.
Head. Death by Dong. Evil Head, Death by Dong. Yeah, sorry. It's been a while.
Let's make sure everybody understands that.
Evil Head.
Death by Dong. Watch it. Watch it and see
Watch
if
it.
you recognize anybody on the screen.
There you go.
On the
Anyway.
screen.
So
It's
just
so funny. I'm just going to
parts
say
of me.
it's worth the watch, folks. It's
worth the watch. Don't have the kids in the room.
No,
Okay.
don't have the kids in the room. God, no. Don't have anybody. Don't have any born again Christians
the
in the
looks
room.
I
No.
get after people watch that video, they're like, "You did what? I can't believe what I saw." I worked with a guy who doesn't work with us anymore. He moved on or whatever. But after he watched it, he came in the next day and he said, "Man, I don't know. I've seen what you'll do." Okay. Anyway, so back to Toxic Avenger, Troma's film, over the top, gore, gratuitous, everything. It was fun. It's funny. It has a happy ending. It's a good flick.
He make? I'm confused on how. Even back in 1984. Now I remember watching this movie. I want to say I saw it twice, but I know of only one time that I'm sure that I watched it. I forgot half of this movie.
Oh, dude,
Well
I
over half
barely
this
remembered
movie.
any of it.
I don't remember any nudity in this movie, but there was a lot of nudity in this movie. I was actually kind of shocked. I was like, wait, I don't remember any of
Why
this.
didn't I remember this?
Yeah, and when I was 8, I was about 17, 18 whenever this movie came out.
Yeah,
so
you'd have been all over this movie.
That would be the one thing I remembered was boobs.
You would have thought, yeah.
But no, I mean, I didn't remember any of that. I remembered Toxic Avenger. I remember
That's
him
it. I
killing
didn't remember
the
that
bad
it had all
guys.
that.
I
Yeah.
remember like a lot of the other like little things, but there's so much. This is a fun movie. It's just
a fun movie. It's a fun movie. It's a fun movie.
Lloyd Kaufman has made so many movies. I think I might have to join that.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll have to watch some more Troma films for sure.
For a month, just to see some more of those.
Watch
movies.
a few. Watch a few. Yeah.
I know he's got a lot of stuff on Tubi right now too, folks.
That's good.
If you watch Toxic Avenger, I think the cartoon series is on there.
Oh, okay.
So between Toxic Avenger and Kabuki Man, I think those are probably his Trauma's two biggest titles. And I think Toxie is probably the thing that's made him the most money. I'm assuming.
I don't know.
See, I would love to talk to him, not to like to be nosy, but to figure out
just to learn
what sells. How did you make this happen? Was it just dumb luck that it got to be a cartoon in the 90s?
You know what? I would argue that almost this is going to be a take that's going to piss some people off, but I would argue that a lot of people's success is dumb fucking luck. A lot. Now, hear me out. a lot of it is being prepared for the moment, doing the training, working hard, honing your craft and everything. But yes, you did all that work. You absolutely did. But just because you were having a drink at a bar and a producer looked over and saw you and thought you looked good enough to be in the movie, you were ready for that moment. But there was some dumb fucking luck that happened to get there. Is all I'm saying.
You had a dumb luck moment that you were prepared for.
Exactly.
That's an old cliche, and I'm trying to think of who said it the first time. It's like about training being like 90% of it and luck being 10%. Was that Einstein?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Talking about luck and just the way things are is like 90% this and 10% that, and it's like when it all comes together, it's magic. I mean, and trauma movies are fun. Every trauma movie I've ever seen is fun.
It's fun. So, it's fun.
I highly recommend
good, bad movies.
30, 40-year-old movie now. God, I'd say 20. Every time somebody says it was 20 years ago, I'm like, oh, 1980s. No, not 1980s.
It's 40. This movie is 40 years old.
Years ago.
40 fucking years old. It's great.
And it's
great.
Still funny. It still holds up. It's like when they're going through the list of people they don't like. So politically incorrect, but these people are scumbags. They're going to say and do this shit. So you really, if no other reason that you don't like any of these people and you're like, well, why are they getting killed? That's another reason that they get killed.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, there's no, you're not going to be upset that they get killed.
No,
at all.
No. If you are, there's something wrong with you.
Well, there'll be a few people. So for sure.
Toxic Avenger, for me, well worth the money, well worth the time, funny, well written. It seems like a poorly written movie, but it's well really written, not.
Dude, because it works.
Yeah, it all works. It all falls together. So
it goes the way it's supposed to. Absolutely. So
a good man. He did a good job.
Absolutely, folks. So check it out, Toxic Avenger. If you like our podcast, hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe, and come back next week when we'll have something else for you. Hopefully just as weird and entertaining. Later. Yep.